Hi, this is the Denver ghost story that we tell at the Colorado State Capitol. So, underneath the Capitol and the area around here, there's a bunch of tunnels connecting all these buildings together. And, this story, it's about what goes on in those tunnels. But it starts during the 1860 Colorado Gold Rush. And during that time, in the mountains in southern Colorado, there were bodies being found on the trails. And all these bodies were identical in that they all had their hearts ripped out. Well, people were starting to be concerned, and the, uh, the killers they captured a wagon driver, but somehow he escaped, and he identified. He knew who the brothers were. They were the Espinosa brothers, Jose and Felipe. Now, the Espinosa brothers were upset. During the Mexican War, the U.S. Navy had shelled the town they lived in and killed six of their family members. Apparently, the Jose prayed to the Virgin Mary, who told him that he should kill 100 gringos for every dead family member. Well, and the so the Espinosas now they know they've been ID'd, and they tell the Governor Evans they admit to killing 32 people in the Rockies. And they tell Governor John Evans, first governor of the Colorado Territory, guy who founded DU, by the way, they tell Evans they will stop killing if they're not prosecuted for the 32 murders and they get a bunch of land they wanted in southwestern Colorado. Well, the governor wasn't going to take that deal. I don't think anybody would take that deal. Instead, he goes exactly the other way. He hires a bounty hunter named Tom Tobin and sends him out to find the Espinosa brothers. And Tobin finds them near Creede, Colorado, in southern Colorado. And he finds out where they're camping. He camps on the other side of a hill, gets up earlier in the morning than they do. And as each brother comes out of his tent in the morning, Tobin shoots him through the heart, through the chest. Well, now, Tobin has to prove that he's killed these two guys in order to get paid. And, he didn't want to carry their whole bodies because they're heavy, and his horse, his horses were tired. It would be difficult to carry the bodies. They'd get smelly. And so he does the obvious thing, cuts off their heads and takes those. And he gets them preserved in alcohol. And he takes the heads, proves so and eventually the heads make their way to Evans, to Governor Evans here in Denver. And Evans puts the jars on his desk, the two heads of jars, as a message to anyone else who might want to commit mass murder here in Colorado. Well, after Evans left office, the next governor didn't want two heads on his desk, and the jars kind of disappeared. And they moved around a bunch of different places. And by the way, this is Evans was governor, not in this building. This was before that. But eventually, in 1899, there was the state historian at the time was a man named Will Ferrell. Seriously, Will Ferrell. And he finds the jars somewhere in a storage bin when he's going through the chronicling the early history of Colorado Territory. And he finds the jars and starts asking people, the people who'd hired him, what should I do with these? And everybody's like, oh, gross, man. Get rid of them. We don't want them around here. So he puts them down in the basement, down in the tunnels. And, Farrell was the last. The last those heads have actually been seen physically is when Farrell put them in the Well, nowadays, if you want sometimes people have to go down in those tunnels and do work, but nobody wants to do that. You got to pay them a lot of extra money to do that. And now there's a couple reasons why. The workers, when they're down there, they get this feeling that there's somebody right behind them, somebody watching them, and they can kind of see these heads hovering just beyond their light, beyond them. The other thing that happens, people will they'll look down the tunnel while they're working down there. They'll see a little pinpoint of light, but it'll start coming towards them, and it'll get bigger, and it gets close. And as it gets close, the presence of what's ever in that light pushes them up against the wall, and they feel a feeling, a pressure, like their heart is being ripped out of their chest. Well, in fact, one of our other guides asked the captain of the state patrol here a couple of years ago. He said, "Hey, can you take me down in those tunnels?" And the captain looked at him like, "No way, man. I've been down in there once, and I'm never going down there again." So if you ever get down in the tunnels, which you probably won't, keep an eye out. You might see the Espinosa brothers for real this time.